week at Inspired Michiana. It's time for Tuesday Tips. I'm Diane Bennett with Inspired Homes in both Michigan and Indiana, and our guest for Tuesday Tips today is Jamie Miller with Goldkey Home Inspection. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So we have got some questions about thermal imaging. So Goldkey is probably one of the only inspectors in the area that's using thermal imaging on every inspection. Why do you do this, Jamie Miller?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. This is a thermal imaging camera. All of our inspectors use them on every inspection.
Okay.
There's some simple reasons we use them. One is to check simply the air temperature coming out of a register.
Okay.
If the air conditioner is running, we're going to check all the registers to see, okay, if it's 50 degrees coming out here and over there it's 70, why are we not getting cooling out of there? And that's something you can do without a thermal imager, but it's a lot easier.
It's easier with the thermal imager.
Yeah.
So I know we're going to throw some pictures up of what some thermal images look like so they see what you're getting from there.
Right.
What is it that you're seeing when you're looking through it?
This detects thermal differences. So if it's out of a register, it's going to show the area around it as, like 80 and the cold air coming out is like 50.
Okay.
So more importantly, you can detect moisture. Now,
Okay.
it's not specifically a moisture meter, but it helps to provide thermal pictures that give you a hint that you might have that.
Okay.
So if we run a tub upstairs, for example, and we drain it, and a few minutes later we come downstairs and the ceiling's perfectly white, no stains or anything, and we hit this, and there might be a blue stain right there, which means a leak has just started.
Okay.
And so the
So
advantage...
even if there's not marks on the ceiling,
Right.
that you can see between the walls that there's probably water up
What it detects is, it detects when water cools, or when it evaporates, it cools. And that creates a thermal anomaly between that water and the drywall that it's sitting on.
Okay.
And so it's a way that we can detect leaks, and most of the time they're easily fixed, and you might not even have to be destructive with it.
Okay.
And so you can reseal a drain or something like that, without sawing your ceiling up.
That's awesome. Crazy. Okay, cool.
So that's one thing. Primarily for moisture, heating, cooling. We also check electrical panels. The
Okay.
main lines coming in. If a breaker is going bad, if you have a loose connection, if there was one we had last week where one of the main lines coming in was melted. And we
wow.
checked it with this, and it was 150 degrees hotter than the other line.
Wow.
And so it's a good way to check for electrical problems as well.
That's
and
great.
So it's just an added layer of protection for an inspector.
So I do know that there's something sometimes where there's some shadowing on ceilings and it looks like they need to have the ceiling repainted or whatever, and they call that ghosting or whatever.
Yep.
Does this show that there's maybe not enough insulation in a ceiling? Can you tell that?
This would detect that, yes.
It would, okay.
If you look at a ceiling, and we typically don't use it on walls because then you're getting a little bit beyond what inspecting should do.
Okay.
But in an attic, you look at an attic anyhow. And so yes, it can tell if you have weak spaces for insulation or missing.
Okay.
Or we've even found raccoons because
Because their heat signature.
their heat signature.
Wow.
And so you hear it crawling around up there, but you can't quite tell where it is, and you can sometimes track it down.
Wow, crazy. All right.
So they're a fun little tool, and it helps protect the customer.
Very cool. Well, thanks for being with us. Thanks for showing us a thermal imaging camera and these photos. So if you guys have questions about thermal imaging and your inspections and you want to get in touch with Jamie Miller at Goldkey, message us here and we will do so. Thanks for watching Tuesday Tips every week, and we love having you back. And if you've got some suggestions for things you want us to give you tips about, message us for those things too. And remember, at Inspired, we are all about you.